Hi everyone, this is Yari of Astrology Healing Arts with a forecast for July. With Mercury having just turned retrograde in the sign of Cancer, it seems important to pause, taking inventory of the many drastic changes taking place in this year of 2026. We have arrived at yet another critical juncture with several key transits setting the tone for the rest of this year into 2027 and beyond. February and March were very intense months, especially collectively, but July might be just one of the most intense yet, perhaps more on interpersonal levels for many people. But also, there will be most likely radical shifts occurring in society at large, and it's just completely packed with the influence of high voltage ingresses and alignments. So, some of the key words for this month include disruption, surprise, movement, massive change, and reality check. Now, you might recall that legendary character known as Nostradamus, who was intentionally ambiguous. Many have interpreted some of his cataclysmic prophecies to describe this year that we are in, which we are now in the midst of, and specifically the prophecies being linked with this year are what he called a 7-month war, which seemingly has already begun, 3 great fires, literal or metaphorical, a conflict in Switzerland, and celebrities struck down with thunderbolts. I have a few ideas and theories about how some of these things could be playing out, but I'm not confident or certain, so I will refrain from further comments about that. Now, Jupiter just entered fiery Leo during a full moon on June 29th, and this transit will last until July 26, 2027. But what makes this transit so impactful is that it will be making conjunctions to the South Node in Mars in November. I'll have a little more to say about that in another upload. Mars comes into exact conjunction with Uranus while squaring the nodes on July 3rd, though its effects have already been building up for the week and will last midway into the month. Now, this conjunction is really important because it activates the Grand Minor Trine involving all of these so-called outer planets being exactly sextile Neptune on the 4th of July and exactly trine Pluto on the 5th. This is really edgy as an influence for the United States, and I mean, as far as celebrations go, this should be interesting, to say the least. Mars with Uranus make for an unpredictable and potentially reckless pair that can lead to disaster, but positively to tremendous breakthroughs and discoveries. What this Mars-Uranus conjunction is doing, in simple terms, is rerouting our energy in extremely surprising ways. It's not that we'll be prevented from moving forward necessarily, but that we may need to take a very different approach to problem solving and accomplishing our goals. There is a need to be a little more thoughtful during some of our routine activities, such as driving, exercising, or lifting heavy machinery, and in general, things that involve the use of our hands and arms. Even typing, texting, and conversing over the internet may bring startling interactions, experiences, and revelations. This Grand Minor Trine will be activated in many potent ways throughout July from here forward. The long-lasting trine involves Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, but currently also Saturn still and Mars especially. The Sun and Jupiter will soon follow suit. The Sun in Cancer squares Saturn in Aries on July 6th, as Neptune stops to turn retrograde on July 7th. There's probably going to be a tension in the air that could be both sobering and disorienting at the same time. And this paradoxical influence indicates that hidden truths are surfacing in ways that some of us may not have been ready to face. Very interesting week, very interesting time. Venus enters Virgo on the 9th and at 0 degrees forms a conjunction with the South Node. So relationships take on a more serious or practical tone, but with a focus on reviewing the past. What has worked and what hasn't in terms of communication and connection. Other rhetorical questions to ask: are past habits interfering with growth? Is it time to renew the marriage vows? And another possibility is reconnecting with a long-lost partner in order to resolve or heal old wounds. We have a Mercury cazimi on July 12th, which greatly highlights communications, which due to Mercury being retrograde may need clarification or later review. Words are just hitting harder right now, so choose them well. And dreams, oh my gosh, especially in Cancer, are bound to be profound. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but also, hey, it's a great time for writing poetry, by the way. A new moon at 21 degrees of Cancer on the 14th brings a focus on our foundations and emotional well-being. This may be a time for setting boundaries because we still kind of have that square with Saturn, or for enjoying some time with loved ones in a space that feels nurturing and grounding. However, there's a lot more going on that could make this an unusually active and supercharged Cancerian new moon. And that is because, are you ready? Uranus forms an exact sextile to Neptune on the 15th and a trine to Pluto on the 17th. These are not just one-day events, but aspects that have already begun their influence this year and will continue to reverberate into the coming years. Let that sink in. At the same time, Mars, just superpowering this whole configuration, is sextile Saturn on the 19th and Jupiter trine Neptune, opposite Pluto on the 20th, and sextile Uranus on the 21st. It's just like bam, 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 bam. It's just one thing after another, all interconnected. If this sounds like a lot, it is. It's more than a lot. It's immense. And words alone might not even be able to describe just how profound its influences land for each of us, even if at first it's so subtle you don't know what hit you. If you can find some time for solitude, reflection, meditation, or any other way of recharging your batteries throughout the week and throughout this entire month, actually, you may find it easier to navigate its wild twists and turns. But remember this, whatever you think this is going to be like, however you think it's going to wind up, and whatever attachments you have to the outcome might just all need to be let go of. Because right now, more than most other times, life has its own agenda. And that could be shocking to your ego, either for better or worse. And if it's not you personally being affected, it's probably in your observation of how quickly your surroundings have changed and wondering what your place is there at this point. Because certain things can no longer remain static or stuck. They must move. This is the time. This is the destiny of everything in cyclic existence. Just as the sun changes signs every month, on the 22nd, the sun enters Leo. On the 24th, Venus forms a sextile to Mercury and Pluto to Neptune, same day, which continue the threads of transformative experiences in relationships and livelihood. Mercury stations direct the next day on the 23rd, but remains in the post-shadow until August 7th, just before that special day they call Lionsgate. So communications will become much more clear after that. I mean, on the day of and even a few days after Mercury turning direct, I still use some caution, and I just kind of let the dust settle before I swing back into my usual routines and signing important documents and the like. Now, just as Mercury stations direct, Saturn stations retrograde, 14 degrees Aries, and the sun will be opposite Pluto, and this is on the 26th. So things are about to get real, and whatever situations have reached a dead end or expiration date will require their own rerouting of energy. So at this time, what may come under scrutiny are job positions, health issues, career goals, personal and collective responsibilities. Unfinished business now also rears its head like a stack of debts demanding to be paid in full. Now, let's watch out for this. I mean, this influence may not bode well for certain politicians. There seems bound to be more scandals coming out in the news. I don't know. We'll see. The North Node exits Pisces and enters Aquarius also on the 26th, which means the South Node will also shift from Virgo to late Leo as the nodes move in reverse. I'll attach the link to my video about this in the description box below. But in short, this transit lasting until late March of 2028 will be bringing a heightened focus on group Aquarian goals and activities while diminishing negatively selfish ambitions. Political tensions are sure to escalate, but nothing is what it seems to be on the surface. All of this as we enter the next upcoming eclipse season of this year to occur in August. Next, Sun trines Neptune and sextiles Uranus on the 27th, occurring just 2 days before a mega power full moon at 6 degrees of Aquarius on the 29th. This full moon trines Uranus while conjunct Pluto, again activating that minor Grand Trine from different directions, being opposite a Jupiter cazimi. Just holy wow. And Venus will square Mars at the same time. Watch out. This could be really, really good or really bad, and probably a mixture of both because that's usually how this sort of thing goes. This full moon is unlike any other we've seen in a long while, and it's showing us options and opportunities we either didn't realize we had or we didn't have access to until now. This is a real game changer because it means that we are not bound or stuck in the ways that we assumed. But this is also terrifying for some people who are comfortable with the rules they never even made. People with Aquarius or Leo sun, moon, or rising will find that this is an extremely potent window of opportunity. Now, you guys in particular are in the spotlight, gaining more recognition now than you have in a while. Here are just a few brief key points for all signs of the zodiac, giving special emphasis to the sign of the ascendant of a natal chart. Aries, big surprises are popping up in your social spheres as well as in your love life. You may feel creatively inspired, but also in need of making adjustments in your career. Later this month, a blockage is cleared and a new pathway opens up for you. Taurus, home life and career are both undergoing immense changes. Family activities seem to be taking a lot of your energy while you feel the call to get back on track with some of your own personal endeavors. Yes, this is exactly what you should be doing. Gemini, you are one of the more fortunate signs this month because you feel ready to break your own mold and embrace the changes coming. But still, your nervous system may be on high alert because your body is signaling things yet to occur before your mind has had a chance to process them. Cancer, the most radical shifts occur in your emotional life as well as shared finances. You may experience personal renewal or encounters with spiritual energies that completely change the way that you see yourself in the universe. Leo, You are experiencing a great surge of energy that can amplify the effectiveness of everything you set out to do. Your magnetism is heightened, so choose your intentions well, for your decisions will have lasting impact upon your life. Try to wait till the end of the month to sign any contracts. Virgo, your job, career, or life path is changing, and you may be experiencing many upgrades simultaneously. Health and fitness are also priorities, as you need all the energy you can muster to reach your desired goals. Libra, you may be experiencing many changes in both intimate partnerships and friendships. There may be a combination of endings and new developments taking place, or a clarification that reveals your own or others' intentions. Scorpio, many surprises occur within your home life, while opportunities to expand within your career or advance your position arise suddenly. You may become involved in property management, real estate, or home renovations. Sagittarius, many of you are feeling more optimistic and outgoing, no matter what else is going on in the world. Communications are heightened but might become jumbled. Your mind might be on overdrive. So get a massage, take bubble baths, or maybe sit in a sauna to relax. Clarity comes later this month after Mercury turns direct. Capricorn, the universe asks, what problems have you taken on that aren't even yours to solve? What have you agreed to that feels stifling? Perhaps it's time to simplify and size down on commitments for a short while. It's okay to be selfish sometimes and take care of your own needs. Aquarius, the time has come for you to experience breakthroughs and brilliant strokes of good fortune, as long as you are ready for them. At first, this might feel like you are trying to shake loose from constraints, which may well be the case. Then you start flapping your wings and fly like the free bird you are meant to be. Pisces, some things didn't turn out the way you wanted to this year. You might find yourself reflecting about these things, but also working on your latest comeback. This is a very powerful time for any spiritual work or activities aimed at heightening your intuition. Your creativity is also at an all-time high. That's it for now, folks. Thanks for listening, and if you'd like to book a personal reading, visit my website at astrologyhealingarts.com.